What's going on, YouTube? Especially the Ape Nation. Super excited about today's video, specifically about this week's price action. I'm going to go over the big picture real quick. Essentially, from January, we started at 2 and we ran to 77, and now we're back at 33, but we did see a test down of 28. Now, essentially, with earnings coming up tomorrow and the entire market selling off, I do anticipate that we have a red day tomorrow in AMC. So this is the NASDAQ futures, essentially from when we opened at 6, we came all the way down 0.6%, I think it was, and we're slowly retracing. I do think this will be a bear trap, a bull trap. I think that it'll pivot in this range and then find support somewhere around these levels. So 14,980-ish. Now for SPY futures, same thing, potential bull trap in this zone here, and then a move down to 4,400 is what I'm anticipating for the day. Now, because I don't believe that AMC is a hedge for the market, I don't think this is good for AMC. Now, I could be very mistaken, but I would never put money in AMC to hedge against the whole market crashing, and I can't imagine that institutional investors would either. There is, the correlation of someone short AMC may have less liquidity as the whole market sells off because the stocks they're long in will sell off, but that would require a major sell-off. This is not that. So for AMC tomorrow, let's get back to that baby. This is my chart. I chart Elliott wave theory for anyone who doesn't know, but I'm not super religious with Elliott wave theory on the sub-minute or anything really less than intermediate. I like using cycle, primary, intermediate. Sometimes I'll put the minor in, but it's really just a pain. It's better to use supports, resistances, trend lines, other things, and then use the higher degree Elliott wave theory to gauge the pivot ranges. So essentially what we've seen is this nice beautiful run. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to a 18-minute, one of my favorite charts. This was our peak from 31. We went amazingly on Monday. We dipped right down. This is what I'm anticipating is going to happen. A dip down on Monday and then a nice run into Wednesday morning. Now, I kind of drew that out here, so I expected a pivot in this zone. We did pivot at the bottom of it. I thought we'd have more upside, and then we came all the way down. Now, I think that there's going to be a continued downside pressure. These are my 3 supports for the next week. First support is 30.5, second support is 28.5, third support is 24 to 27. I don't anticipate we'll hit the 24 to 27. I do anticipate that tomorrow we will touch the 30.5 support. I think that that'll be around where we close, and then the earnings will determine whether we go down to the 28.5. My invalidation level for that is if we break and hold over 36. So 36 is here. If we hold over this, then this would be a truncated last leg and we'd be able to continue. Otherwise, I do think E needs one more push down, which would bring us to one of these supports. These two, this would be truncated, this would be a double bottom, and this would be what's actually expected. Now, as you can see, this will actually bounce off of that beautiful blue trend line that we have. And that trend line's held since $2. So after Monday, though, comes the good news. I think that Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be beautiful. The reason I say that is it lines up with the T2 and the FTD cycles, the T35s, as well as I think that Adam Aaron's going to say some wonderful things at the earnings, and that alone should give us a nice little wave of buyers. Hopefully we see institutional buyers come in and we start to see some big volume. But for tomorrow, because earnings is such an unknown and the actual market is selling off, I definitely am sticking with my bearish prediction down to 30.5. So numbers for tomorrow that I like going long above 36 and below 30.5. In the middle, that's a liquidity pull. It feels like a bull trap to me. Now, if it's above 36, I feel pretty good with it. And if it's below 30.5, that's just a great number to get long on. So that is the beginning of the week. Now, to continue into the week, I think that we peak on Wednesday. So we'll extend this over a little. I kind of just freehand these, but they're more ranges than time estimations. So I do think that we'll pivot and we'll have like a crazy jump back up. We will see some resistance on these trend lines, the red ones. This one can get deleted. Yeah, the red ones should have some resistance. So we dip down, I see a nice pivot back up. If we go all the way down to the 25 range, it extends things into the following week, but we'll still come into this same pivot zone, if that kind of makes sense. And I think of these as where a bear would close a short position and where a bull would want to go long. So essentially, if it gets all the way down to one of these supports, anyone who shorted it from 46 is going to be pretty happy, right? That's a 33% gain on their investment. That's pretty good. So they'll probably close their positions tomorrow before earnings, because earnings are an unknown certainty. I don't trade around earnings personally if it's a stock that I'm trading, just because they're so hard to gauge whether it's going to be a good earnings or a bad earnings. Unless it's Netflix, I like to short Netflix on earnings. They're too big. They're just too big. They can't grow anymore. So for tomorrow, anticipating some sell-off pressure. 30.5 first support, 28.5 second, 27 to 24 is the third. I like going long above 26 and below 30.5. For earnings, I anticipate that the shorts will start to cover. Close their positions. I misspoke. I apologize. So from 46 to 45, 33% gain. Started gaining some upside here. They're like, shit, let's let it ride a little bit. And the next time it gets down to this range, they're very likely. I've done this many times, whether I'm long or short. I'll see it hit a great number and I miss my selling opportunity, right? And then it starts to come back up. I don't sell yet. I'm kind of waiting because I'm anticipating a retest of it. So same thing, shorts will double down here, which they did. And then with the entire market selling off plus earnings coming tomorrow, I don't think we'll see many new bulls going long until after earnings. But I do think we'll see shorts closing their position at the end of the day before earnings in the PM. So 30.5 is my estimate for where we close, 30.5 or 28.5. 1, 2, and depending on how earnings go, if they go great, I think that will shoot right up, which you can see here, into Tuesday. And if they don't go great, I think we'll come down to the 27 to 25 range, fill the gap, which I can show you. So this gap here. Boop, boop. And that is what I got for AMC for the week. So moving out of the week into next week, I do think that this is going to be wave 1 up. So if you look at my Elliott wave theory, we should see 5 waves. We've only seen 4. We're finishing 4 now. I thought we had finished 4 at C, but it actually got extended into a DE. And we saw that happen right here. Essentially, when we broke this support line, it was no longer going to stay bullish. And we saw this commencing into a major sell-off. The reason for that is we lost a major bullish trading thesis. So all the bulls who were buying on this green trend line are now like, fuck, right? So shorts are doubling down because we broke through the support. Plus the bulls who aren't apes are paper handing. They're getting out of that trade. So that created that little bit of sell pressure. But yeah, as soon as we broke 30.5, it was definitely an E, because wave 2, if this was 1, wave 2 can't extend beyond the starting point of 1. And as soon as E broke the 30.5, it did. So it's a DE now. That's okay. It just extends things a little further out. So essentially, for tomorrow, sell off, three supports, 30.5, 28.5, 27 to 24. I'm anticipating that Ape Adam has some wonderful fucking news for us. I think he's gonna kill it, guys. Why would he tweet something with Halsey with her, jacked tits, right? Like that was a subliminal message. This man had naked shorts on in a video. Subliminal messages are his thing. So for tomorrow, though, I'm holding off on buying until we are at the end of the day, probably after earnings, to avoid the implied volatility spike, because I trade options. If there's earnings, the risk is inherently higher for anyone selling the options, so the pricing is actually higher. After that earnings, that goes away. So unless we tank hard, I'll probably wait on going long in the options chain. For stock itself, if we dip below 30, I'm going to buy a bunch, and if we dip below 28.5, I'll probably double my position. I'm very convicted that this stock will break 100 this year, and I think that we'll see 88 pretty soon. Probably 2 weeks. There you have it. That's all I got for today. I don't really edit. I did turn my mic volume way up, so you guys tell me if this one was better than the last one. I'm not going to watch it because they stress me out, and I feel like I should learn how to edit if I watch them. So there you go.